Listen, Steve Jones, he always says, if you take care of the little things, the big things take care of themselves. James Franklin and Penn State, they'd completely lost track of the little things, the details that had made the program great. It needed a reset. I've been cautious over the years to say, just go and hit the self-destruct button, but now it's crystal clear. I mean, for the last 3 years, Penn State had been held back by the shackles of Franklin and Allard, and in one game, they now had the chance to free themselves into a new era. Going on the road to Iowa this weekend, Penn State will have a new quarterback, an interim head coach, with a full reset of the locker room and a chip on their shoulders. They have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Honestly, I think it's really easy to look back on it now, actually, and just say that Franklin probably gets too much credit for reestablishing the program at Penn State. How many other coaches could have come in and had equal or higher levels of success than he did? And I think the answer is a lot at this point. I think before it was a big thing of, well, who would replace James Franklin? Now the answer is clear, because in the year that was supposed to be his defining year at Penn State, he failed miserably. And so now you can look at his career and you can say James Franklin doesn't have a defining year of his career. In fact, you could even say that the defining game of his career was 10 years ago. Curt Cignetti at Indiana now has the same amount of top 10 wins in the last month as James Franklin has in the last 9 years. You know how many 5-stars Indiana has? None. James Franklin just had a team loaded with future NFL talent, and he brought them to a 3-3 start with no Power 4 wins. Don't feel sentimental about it. Good riddance. You will look back on this moment down the line and say that's the best $56 million that Penn State will ever spend getting rid of Franklin. And I can't believe we didn't do that sooner. Listen, the loudest that Beaver Stadium was this past weekend was in the last 2 minutes of that game, when every single voice of 100,000 people belted "Fire Franklin" at the top of their lungs. The fan base could not have made it more clear what they wanted, and now they got it. For Drew Allard, I feel for him. He's done nothing but love Penn State and work hard to be great at Penn State. He accomplished more than any PSU quarterback in recent memory. He's statistically the best quarterback in program history. But yet, he'll be remembered for the what-ifs. His team failed him, his teammates failed him, and his coaches failed him. I remember Allard's his first pass against West Virginia in 2023. I thought after that throw to KLS that Allard was going to be unstoppable, that the sky was the limit. And it's just crazy how far away that feeling seems. Let's take a look at the big board of Franklin replacements. I did a similar segment in last week's show, but now we actually know we need one of these guys, and so it feels a little different where, now, before it was just potential, now it's like, okay, can you actually see this guy being the head coach at Penn State next year? Kenny Dillingham, the Arizona State head coach. Listen, other than Marcus Freeman, Dillingham is the top young coach in the country. He brings a ton of energy every game, and he just had Arizona State in the playoffs last season. He's my top choice. I think he's the perfect fit for the future of the Penn State football program. It might not click immediately, but within a few years, Dillingham could have Penn State competing for a national title again. And here's an interesting thing that I think I have to put in here, because this might sound counterintuitive, but I don't think you can hire someone who's going to make the playoffs, whether it's the Indiana coach, the Ole Miss coach, or even the Memphis coach, or even the Georgia Tech coach. It would be a massive hurdle to hire them if they made the playoffs. Not only would they be lured to stay at their current teams from their success, but Penn State simply can't wait that long to make a decision. You have to make the new hire before the bowl games start, and no coach is ditching their playoff run for a new job. This was a big deal for Ohio State and Notre Dame last year, after making the national title game, because their top coordinators, they left for bigger and better things, and then all the top guys had already been hired a month ago. Day and Freeman, they had to get creative with rebuilding their coaching staffs, and obviously it worked for them. That's just something to keep in mind when thinking about who's going to be coming to Penn State. I just think it makes all the more sense to get Dillingham. who's going to be much cheaper than some of the guys I mentioned earlier, and he's going to bring top-notch energy and culture.